You know that feeling, right? You've done the work, got your routine, your mindset dialed in. Maybe you meditated, journaled, whatever it is you do. You feel good, centered, ready.
Totally focused, peak state.
Exactly. And then, boom, one interaction. A passive-aggressive email, maybe? A weird comment from a colleague.
Or that client call that just goes completely sideways.
Yeah, and suddenly all that focus, that good energy you built up, it just evaporates. It's gone. You're derailed. If you're doing everything right for yourself, why does this human friction still have so much power to knock you off track?
It's a real paradox, isn't it? We put so much effort into our internal resilience, our own psychology, but then we interact with someone else and suddenly, it feels fragile. And we tend to think the big challenges for, say, 2025 are these huge external things, AI, the market, global stuff. But maybe the biggest hurdle is actually closer to home.
Like how we deal with people.
Exactly, how you navigate the people around you, and maybe even more importantly, how you handle your own reactions to whatever they throw at you.
Okay. Welcome back to the deep dive, everyone. That question is exactly what we're digging into today. We've been looking at some really interesting stuff, specifically insights from Gill Hasson's book, How to Deal with Difficult People.
Great book.
Yeah, but we're looking at it with a specific 2025 lens, sort of like a practical rewiring plan for how you handle these interactions based on her work.
Right. Our mission today is basically to pull out the core principles and turn them into a system, a set of tools you can actually use.
Tools for navigating that inevitable human friction, work, home, wherever.
Yeah, without letting it suck your energy, kill your focus, or just, make you feel rubbish. It's about building a resilience that's specifically for dealing with other humans today.
Okay, let's jump in then. What really struck me from the source material was how quickly it pivots. It's not just about pointing fingers at difficult people out there.
No, it's not about fixing them.
Right. The core idea, and Hasson really hammers this home, is that the main problem isn't really the difficult person. It's the version of you that lets them get under your skin, that lets them hijack your day.
That's the big shift. It's less about external tactics and more about managing your internal landscape, protecting your energy, your focus. It puts the control back with you, not the problem person.
So how do we actually do that? Let's get tactical. The first big principle, and I found this super useful, is what we're calling the art of psychological surgery. It's about attacking the behavior, not the person.
Sounds simple, but it's actually pretty profound and really vital right now. Think about how we communicate: email, Slack, texts.
So much room for misunderstanding and quick reactions.
Totally. And the culture often encourages taking things personally, labeling people. Someone messes up, and instantly they're incompetent, they're lazy, they're toxic.
And the second you do that, what happens? Communication just dies, right?
Instantly.
Yeah.
Defenses shoot up, nothing productive happens, and you've just wasted your own mental energy on attacking someone, which rarely works anyway. And the source points out we do this to ourselves too. Miss a deadline. Ugh, so lazy. You attack yourself, not the behavior.
Instead of figuring out why the deadline was missed.
Exactly. Psychological surgery is precise. It targets only the specific, observable problem behavior.
And that's where the behavior script comes in, like the tool for this surgery.
Precisely. It's your scalpel. It strips away the emotion, the judgment. It's a three-step thing.
Okay.
First, state the observable behavior. Start with when. Describe what happened, factually. Like when the report comes in after the deadline, no judgment.
Just the fact.
Second, state the direct impact. The impact is, explain the consequence. That marketing can't start their work, which puts the launch date at risk.
Oh, okay.
Again, factual.
Okay, behavior, impact.
Third, state the needed future action. What I need is, or what's required is. Be clear about the change needed. For us to agree on realistic deadlines we can both stick to.
It's powerful because it avoids blame. It's just logic. This happened, this resulted, this needs to change. I can think of times I definitely went for the person attack instead.
We all have. But this forces a problem-solving approach. Like Hasson's example of hostage negotiators. They don't yell about the person being bad.
Right, they focus on behavior, options.
If you release the hostages, then we can talk. Separate the person from the behavior. Focus on the action. That's the core of it.
Okay, so that's handling the external behavior. What about the internal reaction? Hasson makes this point, I think it's page 12, that really hit me. She says, basically, nobody makes you feel a certain way. You're responsible for your feelings and your response.
Yeah, that's the emotional anchor, isn't it? And in today's world, your emotional state, that's not just personal, It's a strategic asset. It drives everything: decisions, creativity, energy.
And it's constantly under siege. Every notification, every headline.
Every unexpected email, they're all trying to pull you off balance.
Oh, totally. We've all had that one email ruin, like half a day, just churning away, distracting you, or that comment in a meeting that just spirals in your head.
You lose so much more than just those few minutes. You lose hours of productive energy, letting someone else's action dictate your internal state. Hasson basically calls that a fatal business error. Your focus is too valuable.
So what's the tool for that?
It's the 60-second emotional firebreak. The idea is the moment you feel that physical trigger, anger, anxiety, whatever it is, you have a tiny window to interrupt the automatic reaction.
Before the autopilot kicks in.
Exactly. You need a pattern interrupt.
Okay, walk me through it. What are the steps?
First, acknowledge and stop over to that. Stop. Literally, physically stop what you're doing. Put the phone down, step back, pause the conversation.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Okay, pause.
Second, verbalize and separate. This is crucial. Say to yourself, maybe silently, okay, I'm feeling, name the emotion.
Yeah.
Angry, frustrated, this is a chemical reaction, it's temporary, it's not me. Naming it and seeing it as a passing state creates distance.
Calling it out as a chemical reaction. I like that.
Third, reset. For 60 seconds, focus hard on something external, physical, like details on your coffee mug. Feel your feet on the floor. Or just take 3 really slow, deep breaths, focusing only on the air. Ground yourself. Let that initial wave pass before you react.
Creating a fire break. Yeah, that makes sense. You're not stopping the feeling. The fire is already there. You're just creating a gap so it doesn't immediately burn down your forest of productivity.
Spot on. You let the feeling exist, but you don't let it drive the bus. You choose your response intentionally.
Okay, moving on. Another tricky one Hasson covers, passive aggression. She talks about overt hostility, passive non-response, and then this slippery third one.
Yeah, she calls it covert, dishonest, and manipulative.
And this feels like it's everywhere in 2025, especially with remote work, digital stuff.
Oh, definitely. Overt hostility, like yelling. You know what you're dealing with. But passive aggression is like that slow leak. You said it earlier. Something's off, but it's hard to pin down.
Undermining compliments, the sure, no problem, followed by problems.
Exactly. It erodes trust, kills morale, but subtly. It's that silent killer of momentum.
So how do you fight smoke? The source suggests the clarification loop.
Right. Don't play their game. Don't get hostile back. You use calm, direct, clarifying questions to drag the ambiguity out into the light.
So if someone says your plan is ambitious with that tone.
You loop back calmly. You said ambitious. Could you tell me more about which specific parts seem challenging? I'd value your perspective. You're not accusing, just asking for specifics on their word.
Or if you sense hesitation, is there a specific concern we haven't covered?
Yeah, or the classic forgotten file. Instead of getting mad, you clarify. Just following up on that file for Project X. Want to make sure there aren't any blockers on your end before the deadline hits.
You're using logic to politely corner them, basically.
Right.
Force the issue into the open. It makes you the clear professional one.
It disarms the covertness. Now, the last one. This might be the toughest for people, the walk-away protocol.
Hasson is pretty blunt here, isn't she? Saying some people are just impossible.
She is.
Yeah.
And that sometimes the only real solution to protect your own health and sanity is to just withdraw completely.
Wow, that goes against everything we're taught, right? Persevere, fix it, don't give up.
But think about it. Your attention, your energy, they're finite. Pouring them into an impossible situation, an unfixable person. Hasson basically calls that attention bankruptcy. It's not resilience, it's just draining your account.
Like spending 80% of your energy on that one nightmare client who brings in 5% of the revenue, or arguing endlessly online.
That energy is gone. It can't be used for things that actually work, things that matter.
So the action plan here is what? Setting hard boundaries.
It's creating your non-negotiable boundary list, making pre-decisions when you're calm about what behaviors you simply will not tolerate because they're fundamentally damaging. And crucially, deciding the consequence in advance.
So it's not emotional reacting, it's a planned response.
Exactly. Like clients miss payments repeatedly. The boundary isn't chasing forever. It's an automated email. Work paused until payment received. Boom, done.
Or if discussions turn disrespectful.
The boundary might be, I can't continue this conversation if we're using belittling language. Let's pause and resume when we can talk constructively. And the consequence is actually pausing, maybe even leaving the room.
What about projects that just drain energy, the ones taking 20% of your effort for like 2% return?
The boundary might be setting a firm deadline to exit. Fire the client. Step away from the project. It's not about quitting easily. It's recognizing when something is truly unsalvageable and your energy is better spent elsewhere.
It's like triage, you said, prioritizing your resources.
Yeah, like a surgeon of your own life and business. You have to be willing to say no to the impossible to protect your core energy for what is possible. If you don't decide, the difficult people and situations will decide for you.
Okay, let's tie this together. The world's complex, distracting, demanding, the old way just being nice, avoiding conflict, hoping things fix themselves. It's struggling.
Definitely. These strategies we've talked about, the psychological surgery on behavior, the emotional firebreak for your response, the clarification loop for ambiguity, the walkaway protocol for the impossible, they're not just tips. They're like building blocks for a new psychological architecture.
One built for resilience in this environment.
Yeah, for keeping your focus, navigating the friction without getting consumed by it.
It really feels like a shift from being constantly managed by difficult moments to intentionally managing your own state and your interactions. It's taking back control.
Precisely. So as we wrap up, here's something for you, the listener, to think about. Reflecting on these 4 strategies: psychological surgery, the emotional firebreak, the passive-aggressive detector, the walkaway protocol. Which one feels like the biggest stretch for you right now?
Yeah.
The most challenging to even think about doing?
And following on from that, what's maybe one tiny, tiny step you could take, even today, just to practice or explore that one specific strategy a little bit?
Just imagine how starting to apply even that one small change could shift how you experience that human friction and free up energy for what really matters to you.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into Gill Hasson's work through that 2025 rewiring lens. We hope it gives you a useful framework and some real actionable steps.
Keep exploring, keep practicing, and definitely keep protecting that valuable energy. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.